Hello, everyone. This is another Sunday Live with me, Al Parsai. Let me introduce myself. My name is Al Parsai. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I teach immigration consulting at Ashton College. I have 10 years of experience as an immigration consultant, actually almost 11 years now, and also about 5 years of being a college professor. I have written the book 88 Tips on Immigration to Canada, which is a bestseller book in the field of immigration to Canada through Amazon.ca under the immigration law. And here I am to quickly review the changes in the immigration world in Canada and answering your questions. Just to let you know, I'm getting in touch with you from a cottage. So unfortunately, my internet connection is not very good. We may get disconnected. I'm doing my best to remain connected and as much as possible answer your questions. So this session might be a shorter session comparing to my previous session, but let's see. We'll do our best. I don't have all the tools that I need to have, but we give it a try. So to begin with, I would like to go through quickly the developments that are happening in the world of immigration. And then, by the way, if you have any questions, just post them in the chat box. I will get to those questions and I will answer them. You don't need to repeat your questions. As long as the questions are general questions, I would be more than happy to answer them one by one. So in terms of the word of immigration, the big news was the fact that the immigration authorities have some issues with CBSA. So CBSA is the enforcement wing of immigration. And you probably know that on Monday, Canada intends to open its borders to the United States, the land borders. And this means that Americans who are fully vaccinated may travel to Canada on Monday. And also on September 7th, Canada will open its borders to anybody from anywhere in the world if they are fully vaccinated. Having said that, unfortunately, CBSA officers, some of CBSA officers had issues with their contracts with the government of Canada. They threatened to go on a and actually temporarily the strike happened, but we just heard that the government of Canada has reached a tentative agreement with the CBSA workers. This means that the borders will not close, and hopefully on Monday everything will be normal. So that's number one. The other thing that you need to know is that Canada again invited another 3,000 candidates under the express entry system. The invitation was on August 5th, so 3 days ago. The number dropped, so instead of they usually invited 4,800, sometimes 6,000 people, but unfortunately this time was only 3,000. They were still limited to Canadian experience class, and that resulted in an increase on the lowest CRS score. So the lowest CRS score was 404, comparing to the CRS score of the previous draw, which was 357. So that's interesting to know that we had some kind of compromise. So we were hoping that this time they will invite federal skilled worker, but not only they didn't invite a federal skilled worker, but they also dropped the number of people that they invited under Canadian experience class. And for those of you who are not familiar with the concept of Canadian experience class, federal skilled worker, federal skilled trades, and express entry in general, I will post a link underneath my video later on that explains the differences between these options. Okay, so the next one would be, of course, one day before the invitation of Canadian experience class, Express Entry invited 512 candidates under the PNP or provincial nominee, and the lowest score was 760, which is great. People who apply under PNP, they receive up to 100 points because of the invitation they receive from the province. And that's why 760 is a good point. It means that a person could have been selected with a low score of 160 or more. Again, if you're not familiar with PNP Express Entry, basically you enter the pool of Express Entry, but one of the provinces of Canada, with the exception of province of Quebec, they show interest in inviting you to their province. And when you receive an official invitation from that province and you accept that invitation, in that situation, you receive 600 points. And because of those, or up to 600 points, and because of the 600 points that you receive, you manage to enter the get an invitation and hopefully eventually become a permanent resident of Canada. However, when you become a permanent resident of Canada, you must move to that province. In the news, we heard about a man who committed human smuggling. So just briefly, human smuggling means somebody is willing to come to Canada and then they pay someone to assist them bring them to Canada. And the person who receives money is a human smuggler. Now, human smuggling under Immigration Act is a significant offense. It's actually considered serious criminality in most cases. And because of that, a person could receive, depending on the number of people that they smuggle in Canada, they could receive several years in prison. Now, in this case, this gentleman only brought one person, and because of that, he received, if I'm not mistaken, 3 months at home. Um, and yeah, 3 months house arrest, I was right, and 15 months conditional sentencing. But interestingly enough, a gentleman who's called Ishmael Nababti, sorry, who is a 47-year-old guy. He also had done this before in 2016. So this was the second time that he was wrestling with the law. Again, I will post the link about this issue underneath the video. You will see that, and I will also post the I have an article about human smuggling and how it could compromise the integrity of the immigration system and what are the consequences for people who get involved into human smuggling. Obviously, for the person who has been smuggled in Canada, if they the immigration authorities find out, then they will be in trouble and they could be removed from Canada unless they find a solution, for example, fighting for refugee, etc. Okay, so the other piece that I would like to bring to you is about TR to PR pathway. For people who are already inside Canada, they need to know that the TR to PR pathway has now reached the cap for the essential workers other than healthcare workers and also international students. However, if you know French language, not you are a francophone, don't get me wrong. If you know French language, then you will be able to apply under those programs until November 5th, 2021. This means that for essential workers, you need to show an acceptable French test like TEF Canada, that your test results is equivalent to NCLC 4 or higher, or NCLC is like CLB for English, NCLC for French. And if you're applying under the international student category, then you need to be NCLC 5 or higher. So this is not huge. If you know French a little bit, like intermediate knowledge of French language, consider taking the French if you meet the rest of the requirements, and that will help you still enter the pool of TR to PR pathway. So we have an article about this on our website, and that will help you better understand what's going on in the world of immigration to Canada and TR to PR pathway option. The last a couple of items that I have on my list. One of them is that the two people from the United States, they try to enter Canada. They produce false documentation about their vaccination, and the government caught them and they charged them $20,000 each. So it's important to know that government of Canada takes these kinds of activities very seriously. It's not just about the fines, it's also about becoming inadmissible to Canada and facing immigration consequences. So take these seriously. Don't try to falsify documents. Don't try to deceive the immigration authorities. And the last one is that Ontario is still trying to get as many useful candidates as they can, and that's why they have picked some knock codes, and they try to invite people under these programs to immigrate to Canada. So, for example, some of the knock codes that are in demand in Ontario, and you could keep that in mind, is NOC 0124, which is Advertising, Marketing, and Public Relations Managers, NOC 0213, which is Computer and Information System Managers, NOC 2171, Information System Analysts and Consultants, NOC 2172, Database Analysts and Data Administrators, NOC 2174, Computer Programmers and Interactive Media Developers, NOC 2175, Web Designers and Developers, NOC 3211, Medical Laboratory Technologists, NOC 2121, Biologists and Related Scientists. So the federal government provided a report on how the pandemic has affected the labor force in each province. In Ontario, researchers analyzed 109 occupations that are significant to the labor market of the province. And these are some of those occupations. So keep that in mind. This is not an OINP initiative. It just shows that what potentially could be available to people who want to move to the province of Ontario. Those of you who are not familiar with provinces of Canada, Ontario, in terms of the population, is the largest province of Canada. The population is around 14.5 million, close to 15 million people. About 40% of the population of Canada live in Ontario. The largest city of Canada, Toronto, is the capital of Ontario. And also the capital of Canada, Ottawa, is located in Ontario. And Ontario, of course, boasts about some other famous cities like Niagara Falls, like Hamilton, like Windsor, London, Oshawa, and many other cities, many other beautiful cities in Ontario. So if you intend to immigrate to the province of Ontario, these are some of the jobs that could be in the list of OINP, Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, in the future. Again, I will post the links to these videos underneath my video. So I'm done with talking about the news. As I mentioned, because my internet is not very reliable, I probably wrap up today's session a little bit sooner. Of course, it depends on the questions. Don't repeat your questions. I will be more than happy to review all the questions and answer them one by one as much as I can. So the first one is from Akram Saleh. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you, Akram. Thank you very much. The next question, the next message is from Murali Reddy Nukella. Good day. How to apply for IMPC 11? Should I need to register my business before come to Canada or after arriving to Canada? So I have a bunch of articles about IMPC 11. If you look up job creators on my website, you will find those articles on settler.ca, and including, of course, a direct article about IMPC 11. And I have given link back to other articles about the investment expectations, business registrations, business registration, liabilities of those people who get involved in your business, etc. But simply put, under the IMPC 11, the immigration authorities want to see three major things. Number one, that you have a business idea in mind, that business idea could boost a Canadian economy, contribute to social fabric of Canada, cultural fabric of Canada, etc. And of course, the core of that business idea is a business plan that you present to them. And of course, the second item on their list is that you are the right person to run that business. And when I say you are the right person, they look into your education, your management skills and background, your business ownership and background, your years of experience in the field, the relevance of your experience to what you're presenting, you're going to do, and your success stories. This list is neither inclusive nor exclusive. It doesn't mean that you need to be a highly educated, etc., etc. No, that's not the case. They look at the combination of the things that you have, or rather your CV, and then they decide whether you are the right person, and of course, also how much money you have. And the third item on their list is that you have taken some steps in running that business in Canada. And number one on that list is that you have registered a business in Canada, preferably a corporation, and you own at least 50% of that corporation. So it's important to register the business before going to Canada. You also need to have a business plan in place. You need to show that you have enough capital for the investment that you are doing, and also some other steps. For example, you have signed some memorandum of understanding with individuals in Canada. You have a website about that business. You have, for example, got an office. And again, this list neither inclusive nor exclusive. It doesn't mean that you have to have everything in place, but the business registration is a must. Having a business plan is a must, and then the rest of this stuff also really help to show that you are serious about your business and you have taken certain steps to apply under IMPC 11. And if you're successful, then you receive a work permit to Canada. You can come to Canada and start managing your work. We have dealt with IMPC 11 since 2017, so it's been almost 4 years because the government made changes to IMPC 11 on September 15th, 2017. So I got my first client in November 2017. I have had clients from several countries so far under IMPC 11. I've had clients from, as far as I remember, so from India, from Iran, from Pakistan, from Romania, from France, from the United States, from Mexico, from Chile, from Uruguay, from which other countries? I think I have so many countries that I forgot. Oh, from Bangladesh, from and many other countries that right away I don't remember. But we have dealt with different immigration offices that deal with IMPC 11, and we have extensive experience in that. It's a complicated process, but if you know how to do it, you will hopefully will succeed. So if you're interested, you can get in touch with ourselves, and if you meet the requirements, then we will help you with the process. So what's up with the ARC? So this question is from Reiko Blackman. So just briefly, for those of you who don't know what is ARC, so ARC stands for Authorization to Return to Canada. So if somebody, for any reason, has received a removal order from Canada, then they may not be able to return back to Canada. Of course, if they receive the removal order is a departure order, and you complied with the conditions of the departure order, it means that you left Canada within 30 days, and you also reported your departure within those 30 days, then you don't need an ARC. or if you have received an inadmissibility while you were inside Canada, but you never received an actual removal order from Canada, you don't need an ARC. But if you have received a deportation order, then you definitely need an ARC. For those people who have received exclusion orders, if within the period that exclusion order is in effect, mostly 1 year, if it's misrepresentation exclusion order is 5 years, then you need to apply for an ARC to come back to Canada. The application of ARC is usually accompanied with another application like a work permit, study permit, permanent residence. So in those situations, you prepare a package and send it to an office responsible for the package, and they will review it. And if they want to, they may issue the ARC. It means that it will authorize you to go back to Canada. And they also decide on your second application, whatever it is. And it's a relatively complex and time-consuming process. Right now, because of COVID-19, the processing of an ARC application could take way more than 1 year. So you have to be very careful. Now, sometimes some combination ARC applications, they do not take much. For example, I submitted an ARC application back in November last year, and actually the officers processed it in a matter of 3 or 4 months. But the issue was that the ARC application was also along with a spousal sponsorship application. That's why it was expedited. But with some other ARC applications, for example, I have submitted another ARC application last November, about the same time as the other ARC application, but it was a pure ARC application, and they just decided on the ARC application in early July. So it took them 7 months to decide on ARC application. So how long does it take for them to process the ARC application? It all depends on which office is reviewing your application, the complexity of the case, etc., and also about this the underlying issues with ARC application. Because if the removal was, for example, because of serious criminality, then the rehabilitation application or TRP application that comes with the ARC application somehow becomes even more important than the ARC application. So here is Rupesh. Hello, Mr. Parsai. Hello, Mr. Sangvi. Good to see you here. So Rico Blackman says, I'm waiting on my ARC months now, and I'm outside the country. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. This could happen. If you are, if you have a representative, they could get in touch with immigration authorities to see what's going on. If you are interested, you can sign up with us, and we charge $100 US dollars to file an ATIP request to get the officer's notes and your GCMS records to find out what's going on with your application. Have they initiated that, or are there any specific concerns, etc.? Which office is processing it? Okay, so the next question, I didn't get your question, Nathaniel. Akilu, tell us with leave how Livio. I have no idea what you mean. Sorry. Maybe if you could explain a little bit more. So the next question is Sani Zai, waiting patiently for the ARC. Oh yeah, another question about ARC. You should contact them. Thank you very much, Rupesh, for your comments. So Reiko Blackman, what about ARC? Again, don't repeat your questions. I definitely answered them. Okay, Hussein Iran Shahi, if you and your spouse are outside of Canada and you want to sponsor him to Canada, what can be a proof that you will also be living in Canada in the time you're... Sorry about that. Just one of our new articles showed up. It interrupted me. Just give me a second. So, Hossein, it's a relatively straightforward thing. When somebody's want to come back to Canada, they want to come back to Canada. And based on that, they could actually are in fact uh, they are serious about coming to Canada. We usually use a bunch of different documents. However, because you come and ask different kinds of questions about immigration to Canada, I think you'd better book consultation sessions with me, especially because I cannot find your name under ICCRC, so I'm not sure whether you're representing clients without having a license or you're an actual consumer. So if you're an actual consumer, please book an appointment with me and we can definitely discuss your questions for sure. So the next question is in Farsi. So unfortunately, Hasibullah Amani, I cannot speak Farsi right now. I mean, I can, of course, it's my language, but unfortunately, because this session is in English, I can. If you join my Instagram channel, I will happily answer your questions in Farsi over there. Just sorry everybody, I have to put it in Farsi for a second. اگر که شما انگلیسی بلد نیستید و فارسی میخواید صحبت بکنید، من روزهای جمعه ساعت 10 صبح به وقت تورنتو توی اینستاگرام جلسه لایو فارسی دارم و این هم هندل ماست توی اینستاگرام. Sorry about that. I had to explain that if somebody has questions in Farsi, they can ask me those questions at live sessions in Instagram. So what's my contact number? Just look up settler.ca and you can easily find all our contact information. It's over there. I will also post it below this link as well. So they say I was working and I was not, but my wife and son in Canada. Yeah, beyond Rico, beyond the general answers to the questions, I cannot offer immigration advice on a public forum. So you can be more than happy to, you can book a session with me. If you already have a consultant, they will definitely help you with the process. You don't need me, but we can just get an ATIP request for you and see what is the notes of the officers and why they have not processed your application, or if they have processed your application. Beyond that, I cannot intervene at this stage. Farsi and Urdu, they certainly have similarities. I think Urdu has many elements from Farsi and many elements from Hindi and English. So that's my understanding. But of course, Urdu is its own language. So it's not, but you see some Farsi words in Urdu and so on. Okay, so the next question is from Gurpreet Singh Antol. Hello, sir. Any new news regarding pending FSO applications of year 2020? I'm from India. Unfortunately, no. Gurpreet, what I can tell you is that the New Delhi office is one of the slowest off right now. We have many applications stuck in there, and unfortunately, unlike other offices, even when we follow up on the applications, they are non-responsive. Rarely reply back to any requests or questions. So we don't know what's going on with the New Delhi. And of course, we know that the situation of COVID-19 is very bad, but even for simply requests for joining family members in Canada, we do not have any indications of how and when they are going to process those applications. And usually with the other offices, the processing is only 2 weeks. So unfortunately, everything with New Delhi right now is, and New Delhi is not the only one, by the way, that is very bad. Abu Dhabi is also very bad. Ankara, to a great extent, is not processing many applications. We have similar situation with Warsaw. So for some reason, that region, it's not very good right now. So unfortunately, no answer to your question. Hasbullah, thanks so much. Yes, thank you. Raiko, thanks a lot. So this is the last question, and as I mentioned, because my internet is bad, I have to stop this early, but I answered this question and I say goodbye to you. So James says, hello, sir. According to the IRCC website that all study permit before May 15 will receive their outcome, but I'm yet to receive outcome. I submitted my application since November 5th, 2020. I have sent web. So I cannot comment on your specific case, but please follow up with them because for us, all the clients that we submitted their applications before May 15, 2021, they actually received their study permits. So if you have submitted your application last November and no response yet, and they have been very late, so I highly recommend that get in touch with them and follow up with them. It's strange that they have not. Again, I don't know about the specifics of I have an article, I have a video about how to fill out the web form and communicate with them. But the other option would be to file an ATIP request and see what happened to your application. But to be honest with you, even the ATIP request, it takes at least nowadays 6 weeks to 8 weeks for them to respond to an ATIP request. So there is no easy solution to your problem, but get in touch with them with a web form. And again, I cannot comment on your specifics of your case because I don't know what is the specifics of your case. But to the best of my knowledge, they have replied back to most people. For us, all of our study permit applications have been replied to, but some people, they contact us and they say they haven't received responses. So there are a minority that they have not responses. But from November 2020, that's too late. So get in touch with them. Another question. Oh, Club Fred. Hi, Fred. Good to see you here. So the other question is from Martin Boberg. Do you know if you will be present in the USA if you enter irregularly and seek asylum at the airport? I have heard that you will be in prison until a decision. So unfortunately, Martin, I don't deal with immigration to the United States. I don't know what happens over there. I have given consultation to some people that they wanted to move to Canada and they irregularly entered the United States and they got prisoned. But based on that experience, I cannot answer because that's not my area of expertise. At least I've heard that. Okay, so thank you very much, and sorry that I'm breaking this too early. It's because, as I mentioned, my internet is not very reliable, and I'm just actually teetering from my cell phone to be able to communicate with you. Good thing to know how much I will end up paying to my cell phone company later on this. Again, my name is Al Parsai. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I teach immigration consulting at Ashton College. I have more than 10 years of experience in the field of immigration to Canada. I have written the book 88 Tips on Immigration to Canada, which is the bestseller under the immigration law at amazon.ca. And if you want to get in touch with us, I will post some links below this video. And besides that, I wish you the best. Next week, hopefully, we will have a full session every Sunday at 10 a.m. Toronto time. We will have live sessions on YouTube. And every Friday at 10 a.m., if you know Farsi or Persian, I have live sessions over there in my mother tongue language. I see a couple of questions here. Let me just, yeah. Thank you very much and see you next week.